Hi and welcome friends. If this is your first time here, my name is Tiffany and I'm the International Witch. Today I'm going to be working on my October bullet journal layout and I'm using my Mellow Days Rêverie journal. As always, I will have the items listed below that I use. I don't have any kind of commissions on them whatsoever. These are just the items that I use. And as always, I will be using my Micron pens. I'm going to be using a variety of different sizes, 05, 01, and 005. And that's because I'm going to be doing some more details than normal. And these are a little pricey compared to regular pens, but they are waterproof. So in certain areas where I know I won't be painting, I also use this STA pigment liner. It's not waterproof, but it is water resistant. So it's a cheaper option to fill in large spaces when I know the waterproof isn't necessarily needed. I'm using this in 0.6. And I've used markers on this channel before, but I wasn't really happy, so I bought the special Tombow, which is like very expensive, but I thought I'd give these a chance since my last markers were the cheapo knockoff version. These are the colors in the muted palette that I'm going to be using. These don't go through the paper as much as the other set of markers did, but I'm still not really happy with the colors because you'll see the marker tips don't accurately show the color of the markers that I use, and here's all the numbers. The marker tips are very deceiving. I thought one color was an orange, but surprise, it's a brown, so I'm not a fan and I will go back to watercolor next month. But I understand why people like markers because it is so much faster. For the theme for this month, I wanted to focus more on the Samhain and Ancestral Altar side of the month, although we all love our spooky, cute Halloween decorations. So I think I've come up with a clever way to merge the two together. And that is these adorable little clip arts that I found online. And I thought, what a wonderful way to make an ancestral altar on paper, because each photo has like a cute little character all on its own, and it's like I'm making them look like they're my ancestors. And the quote for this month is by L.M. Montgomery, and it's, "I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers." And I thought this was very appropriate for this month. I know it's very common, but I really, really, really love October. I love fall, I love the spooky vibes, and I love the feeling that here soon we get to start slowing down and there's less go, go, go and more enjoy every day to the fullest. One thing that really saddens me here in Italy is that they don't do Halloween. I've spoken with a couple of different people and sometimes they'll have costumes and let their kids dress up and such, but it's not an actual like trick-or-treating holiday. They don't have Halloween parties. They don't decorate for Halloween. It's purely just for little kids and only for them to dress up. A couple of different Italians, were telling me about the costumes they had when they were little, but they didn't actually trick-or-treat. And two of my friends are currently looking around asking if any of the Americans are throwing a Halloween party because they love the concept of the Halloween party, but they just don't do it here. And a lot of that is based that Italy is very Catholic and a lot of their culture and everyday government is based on the Catholic Church. So Halloween never became a thing here, but they do really want it. These clip art ghosties are just so cute. I mean, look at the little witch and the one that's like tired and with his little coffee cup. Oh, I had such fun picking these out. They're so adorable. Okay, and here is where I start to get frustrated with the markers. I noticed that according to the marker caps, there was no gold or brown. So I got out my watercolors and I got some new fancy brushes, and I went around and painted gold and brown frames. However, as you'll see here in a minute, when I got out what I thought was a nice orange, it turned out to be brown. And the sunflower looking yellow that had like a slight gold to it, it turned out to be almost exactly the same shade gold. So I really should have swatched the markers before I used them, but that's a problem on me. That's a strike on me, because I was assuming that the colors would come out looking like the markers. And that's why I like watercolors compared to using markers, is not only can I get a wider variety of shades and tones, I can just mix each other until I get the right color, but I know looking at the color I mixed is what is going on the paper. There's no like mystery color when I put my watercolors down. So as much as I love how fast markers are, I just never like the results. The colors are never what I wanted them to be. You will see me throughout the video constantly checking and making sure that the markers don't go through. These Tombow, I have to say, they did not go through the paper, but I was also super gentle with them because I didn't want a same repeat of the last time I used markers. So I really didn't put these markers through the test. Like, I didn't layer them too much. So I can't speak for some like hardcore art, but in this journal layout, they did pretty good. And here's where you can see what I mean about the colors. This cap on this marker is a beautiful yellow gold, but this is straight up orange. I'm sorry, it came out orange. Continuing on with the Ancestral Altar theme, I wanted this to look like a shelf with pothos plants and some ancestral photos, and I made the content title to be like a little modern farmhouse sign, because content is one of those words that, depending on how you pronounce it, has a separate meaning. So in this instance, it's both content and I am content. Kind of like sometimes you see those modern farmhouse signs and it's like blessed or happy. Well, I'm content. And as usual, I will make sure to patch out the word content before I upload them to my blog, because I know not everyone has social media and they're worried about content. So I'll leave this blank and you can put whatever you want there. Speaking of my blog, if this is your first time here, I want to let you know that if you sign up for my newsletter on my blog, you'll get free access to printables for both bullet journal and grimoire pages, completely free. And I'm also doing a major arcana deep dive into the tarot section of my website. And I also have the bookshelf tab on my blog, and that's where I put all of the books that I have reviewed. Make sure to click on the link below to go to my blog to have a look around and see if anything interests you. And now on to my spellwork portion of this page. And I've said before that I do a lot more spellwork in the warmer months than I do in the winter months. So here is where I'm going to start reducing the size of my spellwork portion. Now over to my goals section. As I've said previously, I was inspired by Beth and Beyond to do the elemental options for goals. So for fire, it was creativity. For spiritual, I wanted connection. If you're interested in this, I would suggest you go watch her videos. She explains it so much better than me. But for this page, I did make a tracker the circle that goes around the outside is the tracker for my goals. But if you want, you can use the star for your goals and then have a habit tracker around the outside. I've left it blank so you can do whatever you want to with it. Unlike watercolors, I can't really control the transparency and opacity of these markers, and I want to use these spaces in the stars to write my goals. So I'm just going to use the markers around the edges so that each section gets its own color, but it won't impact how I'm able to write on it. Because this month's theme is focused around family and ancestors, I thought that these little folk art clip art flowers were so cute and just the perfect touch for my scheduled page. And now over to the Samhain Sabbath page. This page I wanted to decorate to look like it's a silent supper. Now I'm not going to go too deep into what a silent supper is because I do plan on making a video when it gets closer to Samhain, but ultimately it's a dinner that would be shared in silence, thus giving your deceased ancestors room to talk at the table, so to speak. But there's many different ways you can do this, and some people don't even prefer to do it silently. Some people like to make memories during this time. That'll be a whole different video, but like I said, I just wanted this page to look like a place setting that you would have at a silent supper. The camera that the ghost is holding reminded me of Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice, and that made me remember that I just watched Beetlejuice, the part 2, and I have to say, I knew it wasn't going to be as good as the first one, but like I was hopeful, but okay, it's a great movie, don't get me wrong. If you go into it for the campiness, it's great. But they had so many. There was like 5 different plot lines going on in that movie. It was so hard to concentrate. I think they were trying to do way too much all at once, and it just did not work for me. Like, Monica Bellucci's character in it, she's gorgeous, but I was like, why in the world was this even added? You could have deleted that whole storyline and the movie would have been so much better. And it come to find out, it's because Tim Burton is dating her now. So they threw in this whole nother section of the movie just so he could show off his hot new girlfriend. And I get it, Monica Bellucci is gorgeous, but I really think the movie would have been better without it. Okay, now it's time for the final walkthrough. I'm really happy with all of the images that I chose, but I really don't like the colors. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Did you like the colors of it this month, or should I go back to the watercolors? I know the markers are easier to use, but I'm partial to the watercolors. Make sure to leave me a like and subscribe below. It would mean the world for me. Love you. Bye.